Hey y'all, so I hope you guys are doing well. Happy Friday. I hope you're having a great start to your day. I wanted to come on here chat with you guys for a little bit because I was in the middle of doing some homework for a course that I'm taking. And this isn't about adding skills or anything like that. This is just more from a spiritual standpoint. And there was a question that was asked that I want to share with you guys because I think it brought so much insight into where I'm at right now on my journey, on my walk with God. And I pray that it will do the same for you. So the question is, is there any area that God is asking you to surrender to Him? Because I'm focusing on relationships and it's not just about boyfriend, girlfriend, marriage. I mean, all types of relationships, right? It's applicable. What are the areas that God is asking you to surrender? And the reason why that question really struck me is because I realized that, and all of us, we have little hangups about, whether it is family, whether it's friends, whether it's men, women, and relationships, we have certain hangups. And so I know I have my own, and I don't even mind sharing this with you because I've shared it to you guys in a different form. But, and plus I shared an incident that happened a couple of days ago on social media where I explained basically the challenging interactions I have with men. So basically, my hang up is really about boundaries, trust, and being able to be vulnerable. And it's not that I'm incapable of being vulnerable. It's really grounded in trust. And the reason why that is an issue for me has to do with the couple of times that my space has been violated or that I've been physically violated. And so that is a natural disposition for anyone to have whenever boundaries are crossed. Now, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole because it will get too long in conversation. But it's just to say that whatever you're dealing with, and naturally as well, you don't want to feel that way. No one wants to harbor negative energy, but they just sit with it because they don't know how to deal with it. This is the perfect opportunity to surrender that to God, because that way He can start to renew you and open your eyes to things that you may not have been privy to before. And in that process of renewal, you start to shift from mistrust to discernment to when that right person comes into your life, for example, you will know that you can trust them. The biggest obstacle that we experience is when we don't surrender things to God. We carry the baggage with us and we simultaneously block whatever it is that God wants to bless us with. And then we sit there going, oh, nothing great happens to me. Well, nothing great happens to you because you're not willing to let go of this baggage. There's something that when I was in therapy, my counselor said to me that was just, I carry this with me every single day. And it's something that pops up in the moments where I may feel frustrated. She said to me, what are you getting out of this? You're upset, you're disappointed, or you're frustrated, but you keep bringing it up. So what are you getting out of that situation? And that's the question I would pose to you if you're carrying some baggage right now. What are you getting out of it? Is it a sense of people expressing their empathy to you? Is it a very toxic form of being validated? That gets exhausting. Trust me, I've been there. It gets exhausting. And you want to have a different life. You want to have a different life experience. And it starts with letting go of this baggage and allowing God to renew. So I want you to try this exercise just for you, okay? Either take out a sheet of paper, a notebook, you have a journal, Write down all the things that you would love to experience, but for some reason you have this particular block. Write down what that block is, because that block is what you're going to surrender to God. And you're just going to simply ask him, Lord, help me in this area because I feel like XYZ and I would love to experience ABC. How do I do that? You know, that can be your prayer, that can be your journal prompt, and whatever comes to mind as far as what you can do to change either your mindset, whether it be some habits that you have, or, you know, the way you show up in the world. If you get some type of internal prompting to like, hey, try this, or, you know, maybe I should do this, even if it means, hey, maybe your first step is to go to therapy and just have someone give you practical tools in order to do that. Do that. Do that. You don't know how much of a disservice it is for you to hang on to these things and still yet wish for the opposite to happen. It can't. They can't exist in the same space, right? Because it's either your anxiety and your, you know, negative self-talk and the narratives that you have in your head are going to take precedence over what you would love to have, or you're going to work on letting that go so you can make room for whatever it is that you desire to come into your life. So try that exercise on for size. You don't necessarily have to report back to me, but if so, like, I would love to hear your story. I would love to hear, you know, what you've gotten out of that. Because I believe that when we start really putting pen to paper and really just purging, we really do start the process of moving and transitioning from what we think won't happen to what can happen. And that for me is the biggest breakthrough that I've ever experienced in my life.